Guru Pashupati. This is the show where I answer your questions on wellness, health and well-being. I'm doing a diabetes special where I've got 27 questions about diabetes, which will cover every aspect of diabetes. And if you listen to all these answers, all these 27 answers, you'll feel well equipped to deal with diabetes. If someone in the family has it, or if you have it, or if you're at risk of it. Okay, so let's get started. Is diabetes genetic? Is the next question. And this question is a very it shows a very commonly held belief that we can pass on diabetes. So usually why children of some diabetic parents get diabetes is usually because they're all eating the same food and cooking the same way, and that's the reason that diabetes gets passed on, because you pass on our bad food habits to our kids. Okay, it is not genetic in any way. All right, so this is what you got to understand. So just because your parents got diabetes, you are at a higher risk if you eat the same food that they're eating. But if you change your food, listen, somebody put it very beautifully. They said, genes load the gun, but diet and exercise pulls the trigger, and lack of exercise pulls the trigger. Okay, so you have a loaded gun. If you don't pull the trigger, nobody dies. Same thing. If you have loaded genes that everyone in your family easily gets diabetes, that's okay. Don't pull the trigger then. Okay. Don't eat wrong kinds of foods, high in oil and fat. Avoid foods that are high in oil and fat. Everybody tells you to avoid foods that are high in sugar, which is true. Like avoiding carbohydrates is ridiculous. But you just got to avoid oil and fat. So then you won't inherit diabetes. Just try this. Cut out all the oil and fat from your diet. Just like everything. Don't binge on nuts. You can have a little nuts, but don't binge on it. And then you'll see that your diabetes sugars are just coming down. Yeah, it starts healing itself, because then all the intramyocellular fat gets a chance to come out. The liver can now process it because you're not bombarding the liver with fat. Okay, so that it can be completely reversed. That's the best part about diabetes. It can be completely reversed. So don't worry if somebody in your family has diabetes. It's cool. You don't have to get it. Don't pull the trigger. Next, with what mindset do diabetic patients approach you? Okay, thanks for this question. People come to me when they're completely dejected and don't have any hope. That's very unfortunate, and that's why I'm making these videos. Come to me earlier. I can help you faster and better. But even if it's too late, according to the doctors, I pulled a lot of people out of the jaws of death by just practicing the art of removing their karmas. Look, karmas are, it's like a boat, Karmas are the cause and we see the effect. So if a boat has a hole in it, then water's coming through. The cause of the boat filling up with water is that there's a hole. But the effect is that there's water everywhere. So if you want to work on the effect, you take a bucket and start bailing out the water. But if you want to work on the cause, you have to plug the hole. Once you plug the hole, there'll still be some water in the boat. That you can take the bucket and throw out. Okay? So you've got to work on the causal body and the effectual body. Unfortunately, many medical practitioners have failed to work on the effectual body simply because they don't have the knowledge, because they're not yogis. Only yogis know how to work on the karmic bodies. But karana sharira, yeah? We don't even have this word in medicine, karana sharira. How many doctors have you gone to who said, oh, it's in your karana sharira, I can see your diabetes, let me take it out? Nobody, ever. Okay, this technique is only known by giri yogis, and for the first time I'm teaching it openly to to my students who want to be yogis and healers. So if you aspire to learn, do get in touch and I'll be happy to teach you these things. Okay, which organs does diabetes affect the most? Even before you got diabetes, and I assume you're talking about type 2 diabetes, it's the liver. The liver is the first one to fall, and then it starts affecting any organ. It depends which one gets infected first. It's just going to be a mela there. All sorts of stuff is going to happen inside. So you can't really say, but sometimes it's the intestine, sometimes it can be the heart, and sometimes it can be the eyes. These are the most common ones, and the nerves become victims of diabetes. Okay, so yeah, what's the difference between diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus? Diabetes mellitus is the common diabetes that we understand, having sugar in the body, but diabetes insipidus is urinating so much, excess, urinating a lot and then getting dehydrated and feeling thirsty and drinking a lot of water, and it's idiopathic, which means nobody knows why it's caused. But we do know. When we look at the blood report, there'll be reasons why it's caused. Okay, there'll usually be some kind of toxicity inside the body. But we never screen such people for toxicity. We say we don't know why it is, but anyway take this medicine which won't help you, and we send them away. So that's not the way to treat it. But even diabetes insipidus can be treated. It's not as common as diabetes mellitus, but they're two different things. They don't have anything to do with each other. Okay, they just share the name diabetes. So I'm sure there's some historical reason for it, but I don't know it because I'm not a nerd. What is diabetic ketoacidosis? So ketoacidosis is when you kind of get low blood sugar, and then your body starts using ketones for energy instead of glucose, which leaves an acidic byproduct inside the body, and it makes acidosis inside the body. Okay, so that's diabetic ketoacidosis. It's a very painful condition which starts burning up your internal organs. And when you get low blood sugars, you have murderous moods. You want to murder someone. Okay, so you get really like angry and in really bad moods. So it's hell, in other words. Next question: can diabetics live a long life? Now, of course, when you cure them completely of diabetes, they live a long life. Okay, but as a diabetic, you can expect maybe 10 years or 15 years maximum. Maybe 10 years of okay living, and then another 5 years of assisted living, because you'll be so sick and your kidneys will fail, by the way. Okay, your kidneys are very badly affected. We'll come to that. And so then if your kidney fails, then you'll die soon. Okay, so many people have died because of the burning away of the kidney, because it's processing all that sugar. And sugar is kind of acidic to the body. It burns it. It's a fuel. Okay. How do I get rid of diabetes? Is it curable? Yes, you can get rid of diabetes completely. It's curable. And there are many steps to healing it. And if you really are serious about it, get in touch with me and I'll help you. I promise you I'll help you get out of it. Because I've helped so many people now. More than 200 people. Okay, just get in touch. Yeah, it's definitely curable. You get rid of it by changing your diet and changing your lifestyle, and with no medication you can get over it. Okay, how to prevent diabetes? Take care of your nutrition and your exercise. Don't eat oily, fried, fatty food. That's it. Just take care and you'll never get diabetes. Alright? And why are the number of people with diabetes high in India? In India, it's mostly stress-related diabetes, where the liver is dumping sugar into the blood. I know this because I check people's insulin as well. And usually some of them have normal insulin, but they've got diabetes, severe diabetes. That means it's fasting insulin when I check, right? That gives you an indication whether insulin resistance is there or not. Because if insulin resistance is there, early in the morning, a lot of insulin will start being produced. They don't have insulin resistance. The insulin resistance starts after they see their spouse's face, and when they go to office, then their insulin resistance starts. It's not really insulin resistance, it's high sugars, because the liver is just dumping its sugar stores. They probably have fatty liver. So if you want to prevent diabetes, just follow a proper diet, just cut out all the oils and fats, keep it to a minimum, okay, and then work out. I have excellent classes where you can work out. As you can see behind me, there are these healing woods, okay, and it's through these healing woods that I create health in your body. By moving these pieces of wood around, you can work on almost any internal organ. You can change your body structure. You can make space for your internal organs to work. It's an amazing invention, and it's through this that I cure diabetes. So I give 4 months of my class for free to anybody who signs up as my patient, so that they can get these exercises that change their metabolism and then the way that they manage energy in their body.